come up with her own rules and Saturn be the sun. We could be aliens, let our hearts beat as one. We could be upside down, strangers all around. We could be aliens, let our hearts beat as one. We could be upside down, strangers all around. We could be aliens, let our hearts beat as one. We could be upside down, strangers all around. We could be aliens, let our hearts beat as one. We could be upside down. We could be upside down. Makes no difference where we walk to or where we truly choose to talk to, whether it be mental or physical. We decide to see the sun and how it feels and how it runs up. Let them look crazy, they can't touch this, nah. We could be aliens, let our hearts beat as one. We could be upside down, strangers all around. We could be aliens, let our heart beat as one. We could be upside down, strangers all around.
bathed in a cool indigo. And the low pines cast shadows that cut through the tall grass and creep up the pale gravel road. There's a certain kind of light and a leaving look in your eye. Don't you come back till you get what you wanted. Just let your tears say goodbye. Well, you learned how to live in a dusty old barroom where the bottle wouldn't leave you alone. And the old man collapsing, they grab for your satin. They're leaving, but they ain't going home. She knows but to fly and to sing. By the chimney she's silent in the lee of the north wind and buries herself in her wings.
Snowflakes fall, it's my heart that melts. The gray clouds start biting like a sharp whiskey belt. The sun fades away, and so does your smile. But love, linger with me a while. Love, becomes bitter within.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. We're delighted you could join us for our 2020 virtual public forum, and we're thrilled about the turnout. We have almost 300 guests with us today, making this one of our best attended public forums. While it's not the same as being with you in person, we appreciate you being with us wherever you are. And as a special bonus, you'll also be the first to learn who the 2020 recipient of the Ray Hanley Award is, as well as the recipients of our Art Unites CBUS Black Film and Photography Awards, both of which we are announcing to the community immediately after the forum today. Before we get started, I just want to cover a few housekeeping items. You'll see them on the slide here. First, the webinar is being recorded. We have disabled the chat for this presentation as well as audio and video for everyone except the presenters, so you can truly eat your lunch without fear of video exposure. Questions and comments can be submitted through the Q&A link at the bottom of your screen at any time during the forum. When we get to the Q&A period in the second half of the forum, we'll post the questions we're able to answer for everyone to see. Also, we hope you enjoyed the trivia questions prior to the start of the show, and the music too. We had fun compiling them, but you'll have to stick around until the end to find out the answers. I'll be doing that right at the end of the call. As we worked on organizing this forum, it became clear to us that the overriding theme would be gratitude. You'll hear a lot of thanks from us today, and truly, we don't feel we can say it enough. It's through the support of our sponsors, partners, donors, individuals, board members across this community that we have managed to weather the storms of 2020. We are grateful for our ongoing support from the City of Columbus, Franklin County Commissioners, and the Ohio Arts Council. The additional funding we received this year through the City of Columbus CARES Act funding has been critical as we work to ensure financial assistance to organizations who have had nearly zero earned revenue since March. In a little bit, you'll hear about a public art project that's about to get underway. And I warned you, lots of thanks today. I'm going to say thanks in advance to you, Marshall Shorts, Sherry Neal, the Maroon Arts Group, Lisa McClymondt, and a number of other talented Black creatives for their leadership on this effort, and Mayor Ginther, Columbus City Council member Shayla Favor, the AEP Foundation, and Huntington for their financial support for the first phase of this project. As you are all aware, arts and cultural organizations are critical to education, tourism, and the quality of life in Columbus. The Greater Columbus Arts Council works every day to ensure this essential part of our community economic ecosystem can continue to provide programming and services our community has come to depend on. Just like everyone else on this call, we have had to pivot how we do that this year. Since the start of the stay-at-home order in March, the Arts Council piloted 2 programs to address the loss of income by artists and cultural organizations. First, we raised private funds from many generous individuals like you to supplement our support for professional artists grant program. We asked and you responded. Because of your support, we were able to provide emergency relief for artists fund grants to 428 artists across disciplines for nearly $330,000 to help artists meet basic needs in the early stages of the pandemic. You're seeing some of the photos of them here. This image shows that, and we were able to help thanks to the generosity of businesses and individuals who contributed to this effort. Particularly, I would call out the PNC Foundation, Equitas Health, the Jeffrey Company, Loanne Crane, the Crane Group, the Columbus Foundation, Huntington, George Barrett, Nick Akins, and so many more. In addition, we revised our operating support grant program timing to ease the burden of application and reporting, enable organizations to address their current fiscal reality in the face of the pandemic, and to provide funding in 3 phases. And on June 1st, the Arts Council and CAPA partnered to launch #ArtUnitesCBUS, an initiative to employ Columbus-based visual artists to paint murals on the plywood installed over broken windows throughout Columbus. This initiative was started to help bring artwork to our streets in response to the Black Lives Matter protests, spark conversation, and use art as a voice for the community. More than 200 murals were painted by artists across the city, reminding us that the time for change is now. The Arts Council continues to serve as a connection point for ideas regarding the future of the murals, and we are happy to report that in a survey of more than 200 community members, 97% of the respondents wanted the murals to be exhibited throughout Columbus neighborhoods. These murals are just one piece of our ongoing effort to continue the Black Lives Matter conversation using art as a catalyst. And thanks to the AEP Foundation, again, Huntington, Mayor Ginther, and Columbus City Council, we're able to expand this effort beyond the temporary mural exhibitions to include the Art Unites CBUS Awards for Black film and photographers and a permanent public art component. Michael Bongiorno and Council Member Favor will share more about the project shortly. As you all know, this year was the first time we were not able to gather in person for the Arts Festival. This was particularly tough on our staff. One of our great joys each year is bringing the community together for art, music, food, and fun. The Arts Festival in place was a success thanks to the generosity of the sponsors who stayed with us for the virtual event, particularly our presenting sponsor, the American Electric Power Foundation, and all the other partners you see on the screen. Just one last thing. The Arts Council staff has stayed incredibly busy and engaged, finding new ways of doing good work in our community, and we've taken this opportunity to dig in and finish a new strategic plan. The Arts Council Board will vote to adopt that plan later this month, and we'll share the details with the community. But I want to tell you that in addition to a new mission, which is to support and advance the arts and cultural fabric of Columbus, and a new vision, a thriving Columbus where the arts matter to all of us, we will be focusing our work into 4 strategic pillars: advocate, support, sustain and advance, engage, and embrace, with cultural equity woven throughout all of our work. An important part of that strategic plan is sustainability. You may or may not be aware that we have an endowment fund at the Columbus Foundation. Our goal is to get that fund up to $2 million by the end of 2021, by the end of next year, so we can continue to support and sustain the work that the artists and the arts organizations are doing in and for our community and the future of our city. Thanks to a $100,000 gift in honor of our very own board member, Barbara Brandt, we are off to a great start, and we hope that other donors in our community see the value of investing in the future of the arts. Now, before I turn it over to our board chair, Michael Bongiorno, I have just one more important thing to say. Please vote on Tuesday, November 3rd. So we're going to bring Michael on. Here he is. Michael, welcome. I have to give major props to Michael, given he's had this incredibly challenging start to his leadership position with the Arts Council. He's handled it with unbelievable and infinite grace and compassion, all the while being an award-winning architect. I should have mentioned it earlier, but Michael and I are broadcasting to you from the new Arts Council office, which is at 182 East Long Street. And we actually have Michael to thank for designing our new workspace. Michael, welcome you. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Tom. It's great to be here. Hello to everyone else that's listening in. Tom, it was an absolute joy to be able to help the Arts Council with the new space. And also, it was a joy and an honor really to be able to be in a leadership role during a challenging time like this and really be here for the council as well as the arts in general. You probably also remember that I started a new professional leadership role about a year ago because I wanted new challenges. And man, 2020, you sure delivered. So, but Tom, before we kind of get into things, I just, you and I have been friends for a while, and I think we can be frank with each other about a lot of things. So I'm gonna kind of spring something on you here. I'm gonna ask you today, please, that I promise to not interrupt you as you're speaking if you promise not to say "shut up, man" to me. Can we make that deal and
I promise, Michael Bongiorno.
An example of leadership for everyone in the community? Awesome. Good. Hey, why don't we chat a little bit about the building since we're on that subject, because it is a pretty big thing that we did here this past year.
The building is great. So we're at 182 East Long Street, and which is right near Long and 4th. And the geography of this part of the city is we are located between 2 watering holes pins and slammers. So that's where we are. It's also the start of the Discovery District, which is wonderful. There's probably 20 arts organizations in the Discovery District, including Columbus College of Art and Design, the Columbus Museum of Art, Ballet Met, Pro Musica, the libraries over here, Columbus State Community College, Mitchell Hall, where we had the forum last year, Michael, and it was building another building that you designed. Thank you very much. So it's a great neighborhood for us to be in. The building is wonderful. It is owned by Connect Realty. Brad DeHaze is the CEO there, and it's an old car dealership. And we're very fortunate to be in a building that's getting a new use. And Brad restored it wonderfully for us, and it's just delightful to be here.
It is some interesting remnants too to remind us that it was a car dealership, that awesome tile floor that I think everyone can see in the front, but something that people can't see is the rather steep old car ramp to the basement level. That's now our storage area that I convinced Tom to reuse instead of spending money on an elevator. Tom, what are your feelings about that ramp?
Michael, it's great. In the winter, we might be able to sled ride down that hill. But what it allows us here is we have all the festival equipment here in the building now with us, so that's great. So it's great for Sean Kessler and Jenica Richards to have everything that they need here in the building with us.
Great, thanks, Tom.
I have to ask you something. So what do you like about the building?
Well, I'll tell you what, I really love, well, there are two things really. One is that I feel like it feels very public. It feels it belongs to the street, it belongs to people, it's open and collaborative feeling, and I think that's an important message to the community and to all those we serve. But I think my favorite thing is the natural daylight that makes its way through the spaces over the course of the day, which even on a cloudy day, it feels hopeful and joyful. It really does. And I think that's important. I think the idea of light actually serves as an excellent analog for what we all need right now to fuel our hope and joy. I've spent some time, reflecting on 2020 in preparation for today. And, I think while there are many obvious things that will stand out to all of us over the past year, many of which seem to be insurmountable challenges, there are also some incredible bright spots. And you all that I know who's on this call, we looked at the roster, you've all been inspiring to us at GCAC, and we're certainly going to remember our community's resilience and perseverance during this time in the face of a faceless, invisible virus, but also the far too visible systemic and societal enemy of racism, both of which have been our teachers in 2020. This virus is real and racism is real. But what is also real is that we, as artists and arts leaders, are all still sitting here, alive and breathing, and able to continually share our innate gifts to innovate, inspire, and to be that light, hope, and joy for others. And to me, that is, an incredibly inspiring thing. So while we've experienced, a lot of heartbreak and loss this year, we're planning for resilience. And that means we have the opportunity to look inward with empathy and truth and take this moment to shore up our foundations and even lay new ones in order to buffet the arts and our community against future shocks and stressors. There is a light beyond the seemingly impenetrable overcast sky, I can assure you, and I have unshakable faith that we are all going to work together through this period and move into the future together, stronger and better than ever. And one of the things I really want to emphasize that we could not have done any of the current work that we're doing, nor any of the future work we plan to do without the support of this great community. So again, I want to echo Tom's comments and gratitude to the entire community. And in particular, thank the City of Columbus, Franklin County, and the many, many businesses and individuals who have helped us weather this crazy year. Godspeed to you all. Okay, so now I want to get into some of the fun stuff and hopeful stuff that I was talking about a little earlier. I'm really excited to do that. About a week ago, a committee of Arts Council board members met to review more than 30 nominees in the new Community Arts Innovation Award category. From educational activities to outreach across the racial divide, from technology solutions to new twists on theater and visual arts, the nominees in this new award category reinforced our belief in this community's ability to respond to crises with empathy, caring, and creativity. So while I can't share those winners with you today, I encourage you to check out the GCAC's Facebook page after 11:30 a.m. on October 14th to learn about our inaugural recipients and catch our very special video tribute to our Michael B. Coleman Arts Partner honoree this year, who is Dale Haidloff. Now, what I do get to do today, and what I do get to reveal to you today, is the 2020 Ray Hanley Award winner and recipients of our Art Unites CBUS Black Film and Photography Awards, supported by the American Electric Power Foundation. Thanks to AEP, the Arts Council is not only able to document, protect, and exhibit the temporary murals created in response to Black Lives Matter protests in June, but we're also able to provide 10 $1,000 grants to Black photographers and 3 $5,000 grants to Black filmmakers to tell the story of the protests in their own voice. The recipients of these awards in film are Carter Sterling, Kristen Stewart, and Dante Wood Spikes. In photography, the recipients are Kendall Boone, Jamie Caesar, Terry Dashfield, Asia Glenn, Rashunda Holloway, John Landry, Ngabo Mutenda, Britoni Roan, and Benjamin Willis. Congratulations to all of this talent. You should know that we had a prestigious group of nationally recognized Black filmmakers and photographers who reviewed these applications thoroughly, and we are very proud of these Columbus artists. You'll see more from them, these incredible artists, pretty soon. Okay, so now I wish I had a drum roll to properly introduce the next award, which is the Ray Hanley Award, which was endowed after the death of the Arts Council's longtime leader, Ray Hanley, who passed away in 2006. It provides a cash award of $15,000 to a Columbus artist in any discipline working in their field for 5 years or more. This year, we are so proud to present this award to a name that will be very familiar to many of you, a woman who has served as a mentor to many Columbus artists and young people alike for many years, and who continues to create art and exhibit to this day. When we can throw her a proper party, I promise you we certainly will, but for today, we are delighted to tell you that the 2020 Raymond J. Hanley Award recipient is Queen Brooks. If we were together in person, I'm sure I would be pausing at this moment for us to offer resounding and thundering applause to Queen and in honor of her, just to keep that thought in mind while I share a little bit about this amazing woman's life. Queen was born in Columbus, Ohio in 1943 and graduated from East High School in 1971. She apprenticed under Columbus photographer Kojo Kamau and began working at the J. Ashburn Jr. Youth Center as an arts and crafts instructor. She received her BFA and MFA degrees in art from The Ohio State University in the early 90s, and in 1993, she won the Lila Wallace Reader's Digest International Artist Award and went on to be an adjunct professor in art instruction at Otterbein University and Ohio Dominican University. She is close to our hearts here at the Arts Council because she worked as one of the lead artists for the Art in the House program for several years and still works with young people in that program. Her work has been featured in Essence magazine and twice in the International Review of African American Art, as well as other publications. She created the portal entrance for the Kwanzaa Playground, Ohio's first African-centered playground in Columbus. Her work can also be seen in collections across the United States. Congratulations to you, Queen, and thank you for your incredible art and mentorship to so many over all these years. We're going to be sharing the news about Queen and our very talented filmmakers and photographers with the media and community immediately following today's forum. So please check out our social channels and please help us to share this great news. As you are all aware, our city, our nation, our world is undergoing a seismic shift in consciousness about social equality and racism as a public health crisis. The work and voices of Black artists have been at the forefront of the Black Lives Matter movement in Columbus since June. We are fortunate in Columbus to have many talented Black artists leading the effort for our city. We are grateful for that. Today, you'll hear a little bit more about an aspirational campaign that is importantly of, by, and for Black people called Deliver Black Dreams. Black Lives Matter is the foundation for a movement, but Deliver Black Dreams is about imagining a future where Black people and those who love them are free to choose their destiny, free from oppression. Deliver Black Dreams will be a multifaceted community campaign designed to employ Black artists to create public art, encourage mentorship of young people and new artists, and develop community partnerships that can have a long-term impact in not just the cultural sector, but in education, health, and the economic sectors as well. Public art is the launch point, but it is just the start of a sustained and future-oriented approach to achieving racial equality. We really do want to thank artist and designer and personal friend and meditation buddy, Marshall Shorts, for the concept of Deliver Black Dreams, and Maroon Arts Group, the community arts organization who will be leading this effort, and the awesome artist and designer, Lisa McClyman. All of these people and others have helped us get to this point. We are grateful to the City of Columbus for a commitment of $75,000 to this project. Many thanks to Mayor Ginther, Columbus City Council, AEP Foundation, and Huntington, as well as the Columbus Public Service Department. In particular, I want to give thanks to Councilmember Shayla Favor, at whose urging this public art portion of this project began to take shape. Councilmember Favor is with us today as a special guest to share a little bit more about the project. But let me tell you a little bit more about Councilmember Shayla Favor. In addition to serving on council, Favor serves on the executive board of the John Mercer Langston Bar Association, whose purpose is to be a facilitator of excellence within the legal profession while encouraging community service for those in need. Favor also serves on the executive board for the annual design conference, Creative Control Fest. Creative Control Fest aims to provide a platform for creatives of color in the industries of art, music, design, activism, tech, scholarship, and entrepreneurship. Favor was also recently selected to serve as a commissioner with Columbus Women's Commission as a member of the Eviction Committee and the African American Law Alumni Association for Capital University Law School. Favor lives on the Near East Side of Columbus with her husband and also a personal friend of mine, Corey Favor, and their 7-year-old sweet puppy named Hudson. Councilmember Favor, it's so great to have you here with us today. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Michael, so much for the introduction. You know, the joke being when people read that bio, my 7-year-old puppy, and there's no way that a puppy could still be 7 years old, but Hudson is, if you've ever met my dog, you would realize that he is a true puppy for his entire life. But with that, good afternoon, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you all virtually today for this forum. I want to thank Tom Katzenmeyer, Jamie Goldstein, and the entire team at GCAC for providing us this opportunity to talk about this project, Delivering Black Dreams, which I am thrilled to support. I think we can all agree that 2020 has been one of the most challenging years we've experienced as a collective. It started with the pandemic and stay-at-home orders, but quickly transitioned into protests for racial and criminal justice after the murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. And it has all been further exacerbated by a volatile political environment. These have been tough times for our communities across the country, but I believe many of us have been inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and how we can truly achieve racial equality and justice in Columbus and across our nation. As a council member, I was proud to support our body's resolution declaring racism a public health crisis, led by GCAC board member and my council colleague, Priscilla Tyson. I am being intentional about focusing my work at council to ensure everything I advocate for is filtered through a race equity lens. Whether it's my work on affordable housing, efficiently delivering public services, or advocating for public safety reforms, this is how I am choosing to lead. As a supporter of the arts and our creative community, I believe it's important to utilize that racial equity lens here as well. When cities across the country began rolling out Black Lives Matter street art and murals, I immediately wanted Columbus to be a part of this movement. My original vision was simple street paint and a visual location that would honor our city's commitment to the movement. I immediately asked the Department of Public Service when and where we could do this. Luckily, there are leaders across this community who wanted to elevate this idea, and it has since evolved into this incredible project, Delivering Black Dreams, that could truly only be done the Columbus way. Our friends here at GCAC have intentionally collaborated with Black creators to help facilitate this public art project that is inspirational, aspirational, and critical to advancing the mission of celebrating, honoring, and empowering Black lives. I think it's important here to recognize GCAC once again for being an ally in this work. This organization has used its position to center Black artists and thinkers in this effort. And this style of leading can serve as an example for other organizations in our community. I especially want to thank and celebrate a good friend and GCAC board member, Marshall Shorts, for his vision and efforts in delivering this project. As Michael stated earlier, Delivering Black Dreams is about imagining a future where Black people and those who love them are free to choose their destiny, free from oppression. This is about public art, education, empowerment, and inclusion. We have a responsibility as members of our community to ensure all of our children, especially our Black and brown children that have been left behind, have the opportunity to succeed. It's about recommitting ourselves to achieving true racial equity so that future generations can all have the same opportunities to fulfill their biggest and wildest dreams. For the first phase of the project, Columbus City Council and Mayor Ginther have extended financial support for public art murals that will be designed and erected by Black artists. In various locations across the city, residents will be able to visualize what it means to deliver Black dreams. I can't explain how proud I am to be a supporter of this effort. I truly believe Columbus can be a leader in this space and serve as an example to our peers. I will not stop my own efforts to bring awareness to this movement. Thank you again to Maroon Arts Groups, Marshall Shorts, Lisa McClemick, GCAC, and all of the Black artists involved in this work. I also want to recognize all of the allies who are joining us to lend support and words of wisdom, and also give us the space to honor these efforts. We can't do this alone. It truly takes each and every one of us to change these realities. I think this is another great opportunity to remind everyone to vote and to vote early. This is the most important election of our lives, and it is one of the easiest ways that we can help deliver Black dreams. Thank you all again for helping support my own vision and contribute to this movement in a special way. This is an historic time in our nation and our city's history, and we are all poised to be the change we want to see. I think now we're ready to take some questions from the audience. Let's bring Michael and Tom back on. Tom, I believe you're going to moderate, and we'll all stay on to chat with our participants. Thank you.
Shayla, thank you for your incredibly inspiring remarks.
Yes.
Really. I'll tell you, I'll just for 1 second continue the gratitude that we started earlier, because really we've rallied around Shayla on this. There's been so many people involved. Randy Bortrager at the City Service Department, Mayor Ginther's staff, Kimber and others. It's just been incredible, and we're just getting started. You know, we're just getting started with this. We have a 30-member board at the Arts Council now, and I want to salute all of them. We're also fortunate to have 2 elected officials on our board. You called out one, Shayla, Councilmember Priscilla Tyson, but also Councilmember Emmanuel Remy serves on our board. All of these people give us hours and hours and hours of their time and their own personal resources too. So we're very grateful for all of that. I want to start by just an observation. You all were asked a question when you registered for the forum, or asked to rank what your interests were. And 43% of you wanted to spend this discussion time talking about the ways in which the pandemic is changing how we experience the arts. And that also happens to be one of the first questions that came in from Adam Burke, who runs, he's the executive director of the Columbus Gay Men's Chorus. So I'm gonna put his question up there so we can see it while we're talking. But I just want to kick it off by commenting on how creative our sector has been, both in the performing arts and in the more traditional art institutions. So we only have 4 things that are actually open right now: the Columbus Museum of Art, Franklin Park Botanical, and Franklin Park Conservatory and Botanical Garden, the National Veterans Memorial and Museum, and the Wexner Center for the Arts up on the Ohio State campus. So those 4 are open. You can go there. You can buy tickets. You have to buy time tickets online for these attractions. Every precaution of safety has been put in place for all of them. And I would also say that about Kappa and the movie series that they just ran, and Kappa and the Columbus Symphony. The Symphony is about to do 3 shows in the month of October inside the Ohio Theater. Limited seating for everyone, social distancing, wear a mask, extra attention paid to air purification at the Ohio Theater, notably. So if you're going out to an arts attraction or an event, we're taking every precaution we possibly can. Everyone is doing this with the utmost safety in mind. So there's a lot of things happening. The Symphony just did 20 free outdoor concerts. Pro Musica just did a group of outdoor concerts all around the city. So there's a lot of things you can still do and get out and do. There's a lot of public art to look at. And then a lot of arts organizations are moving their materials online, their creative work online. So keep your eye on that. If you follow us at Columbus Makes Art, Art Makes Columbus, our art campaign, you will see curated there all of these activities, a very robust calendar. We do a feature called Weekend Warrior, which will tell you what attractions to take in on the weekend. So a lot of creative things happening even during this difficult period of time. So just with that, I'll throw it out to Michael and then Shayla too, if there's anything you guys would like to add in that space.
Yeah, I appreciate. Thank you, Tom, for that insight and perspective. I appreciate Adam's question, particularly, look, how can other sectors learn from us? Because fundamentally, what it comes down to is, it's a drive toward innovation. In some ways, like this is a terrible moment that we've been handed, but it's a unique opportunity in the sense that we've essentially been given permission to throw out the old ways of doing things and the old rules, and really think of new ways to do things. And so one of the things that I think the public and the corporate sector could learn is that they have to take chances. Right now, the arts, given that there are certainly more constraints on the arts right now in terms of a return to service than the corporate and public sector, but the arts has had to really come up with creative ways to work around these issues, and there's a heck of a lot to learn there as a lesson. We can almost put together a best practices book in terms of figuring out creative ways to populate space or engage audiences. Sitting through the operational support meetings that we went through, Tom and a number of us, we saw so many great creative ideas that can be, I think, ported and scaled to different types of organizations beyond the arts. So in a way, it's really reinforces the message that the arts are the leaders in so many ways in our local economy.
And Shayla?
Yeah, so, this year has definitely been interesting and has pushed and challenged many of us, specifically artists, and ways that I believe are going to further advance their careers. Really good friend of mine has a tagline, creatives hustle harder. And that could not be more true than it is right now. Art has always been a form of activism. And because we have highlighted one of the amazing art facilitators in Columbus, the Maroon Arts Group, we saw an amazing level of creativity over the summer around the pandemic, and then also providing an opportunity to activate people in our community and make sure that they are taking care of their mental and their physical health during this period. And so MAG sponsored Yoga Outside the Box, where they featured a different yoga instructor every week, and a Lift Every Voice concert series featuring local artists from around the city, drive-up movie nights, and the Bronzeville Growers Farmers Market, an event where people could create their yard signs and use their favorite hashtag of the moment. And then I think about other educators in our community, like Dr. Melissa Crum with Mosaic Education, who provided educational seminars virtually all summer long on various topics, including race, implicit bias, hosting book club conversations and lectures, panel conversations, truly seeing the creativity that lies in Columbus, right in our backyards. Just so excited to see that we did not allow the pandemic or this conversation around race to deter us from coming together as a community and keeping our physical, mental, and spirits uplifted during this time.
That's great. We love the work of the Maroon Arts Group in the Box Park over there near East Side. We're proud to have funded it for a good couple years now. So Adam Burke from the Gay Men's Chorus asked that question, but because he did, I will plug his show. He has a show coming up next Friday, October 9th. I think it's at 7 p.m. And very creatively, he's doing it at Huntington Park. So outside, Huntington Park seats 10,000 people, but they're not going to have 10,000 people. I think they're selling 1,500 tickets. So everyone's going to be able to spread out and listen to the show. And there's a rain date if it happens to rain that day. But that's an example of an organization being very creative, and the tickets are very reasonably priced. The quality of the show will be fabulous. So if you're looking for something to do next Friday night, definitely take that in. And other things people, everyone related to this, what can we do now? Buy tickets, participate, volunteer, We're at year end. If you're thinking about year end giving to nonprofits, think about giving to your arts organization. These folks really, really need it. We have a great statewide advocate for the arts. Her name is Angela Maleka. She runs a group called Ohio Citizens for the Arts, and she's our lobbyist at the State House, and she's been working on the governor and on the legislature about getting some CARES Act money for the large houses, the theaters in the state, to get them reopened. And we really need to be advocating right now at the state level. The unemployment in the arts, got this number in front of me, is we have the highest unemployment rate in the state of any sector. There are more than 1/3 of the people that work in our sector are out of work right now. That's 80,000 jobs, and it's about $3.3 billion in a cumulative economic loss just from April through August of this year. So it doesn't include last month, September. Statewide arts and culture organizations anticipate a 72% drop in earned revenue. A lot of the organizations that we fund are completely dependent on, first of all, our grant, which we get from public monies. Again, thank you, City Council, very much. But they, you know, like Adam Burke, they depend on ticket sales. So the Art Museum, Franklin Park, National Veterans Memorial and Museum, Wexner Center for the Arts, COSI, when they can open. COSI is 75–80% dependent on earned income. So ticket sales, memberships, events, gift shop, meetings that they have there. So any way you can participate in any of that in terms of helping these organizations getting their earned revenue going again, and anything you can do, if you know a state legislator or have any kind of a relationship with the governor or somebody on the governor's team, now is a very important time to let the governor know that you care about the arts. This is a major business issue for the state of Ohio. It's an arts issue too, it's a creative issue, it's a mental health issue, as Shayla's talking about. We all want our arts back, but it is a significant business issue. We have 80,000 people in the state of Ohio that work in the arts sector that are out of work right now. So buy tickets, make gifts, volunteer, lobby if you know your local legislator, doesn't matter what party they are, if you happen to know the governor in any way, I would urge you to contact him also. So we have a couple more questions here. Let me just say, just so everyone knows, there's been several people, including our good friend Diane Nance, who are so happy that Queen Brooks has won the Ray Hanley Award. I hope at some point you all get to know Queen Brooks. She's such a delightful, delightful person. And I see Angela just typed in, so hopefully I covered that well for you, Angela. But Angela works on this basically 24 hours a day at the State House for us. We're competing with a lot of other interests, obviously, in the state too. So the support there is and that's also a great group to join, Ohio Citizens for the Arts. You can join as an individual, and your organization can join also. So we have a question now about grants, and I'm going to call that up. And it's from Beth Cagle, and it's, are there going to be any other grants, individual artists, apprentice grants? So I think that question is showing now. So I'll take that question. We have the most amazing grants department in the city of Columbus, if not the state of Ohio. And it is Allison Barrett and Mackenzie Swinehart. And yes, we have grants for individuals. We have all kinds of grants. First and foremost, go to our website. I'd be also glad to talk to you privately about it. I know those guys would too. We have multiple grant programs, project support, operating support, and grants for individual artists, which I think is what you're talking about. Those have finished up for this year, so we'll be reopening that category. At some point next year, we'll have an announcement out about that before the year ends. But I would encourage all artists listening, we do have grant programs. We give money directly to artists for their work in this community. So with that, I hope hopefully that answers that question. But we also have workshops throughout the year at very accessible places, public library branches. So watch for those. The best thing to do is really follow us, Columbus Makes Art, our Op Art newsletter, those kinds of things. And again, I'd be glad to follow up with you personally if you'd like to talk about that specifically. There's a question here from Mary Urena. And Mary, good friend, very tremendous participant in the arts, notably with Catco and Pro Musica, among others. Long history, Mary. Thank you for asking this question. It is. Innovation is to be applauded, but economic viability seems to be the biggest challenge for performing arts organization and arts right now. Beyond philanthropy, how does this moment of innovation translate into sustainability? So I'm going to put that question up there. And Michael, do you want to start by taking a stab at that?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I saw Derek's question as well.
And you know what? Let's bring that into this too. And I'll try to put that question. We have a question from Derek Gill, who's one of our Dresden fellows and quite the accomplished artist here locally. Put that one right up too. Go ahead, Michael.
Want me to read it?
Yes, well, okay, yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. Oh, it just disappeared off my screen. Hold on a second here. Here we go. Virtual exhibitions, performances are a wonderful and safe patch, but it certainly has limited income stability and experience needed pleasure. As a visual artist, some work is perfect for online or outdoors, while others aren't. Sales are imperative as well as an audience for the work we spend time on. What are some innovative ideas for providing, building, and reconnecting artists to a sales-based income once the COVID relief isn't a priority? I mean, I was thinking about a couple of things. You know, maybe there can be in the same bucket and maybe not. But one of the thoughts I had actually was these are very much space and place-based issues, particularly around the performing arts and bringing people together. And I attended an event not long ago. It was outdoor. Fair enough, but the design of the event and the way that the distancing was handled was in and of itself like kind of like a work of art in terms of its creativity, and which worked well, I think, for an outdoor event. So, you know, one of the thoughts I actually had just sitting on the call just now was, you know, perhaps there's a way to pull together some kind of summit or charrette where we get the arts groups together with people who understand you know, safe placemaking, where we can start to come up with, you know, submit reasonable plans to, you know, the health department and the state for bringing people back into spaces in order to kind of generate more ticket sales and get revenue up. I know there's a limitation on the number of people in space, but perhaps there's a way that, you know, we can work together with like the design community to kind of put our heads together in a, you know, half-day session or a full-day session, whatever it is, to think about ways we can come together to create a safe places, you know, for the arts to continue on. And I know a lot of organizations have explored that in a lot of ways, but I think particularly in performing arts, it's a challenge given the densities that are required.
So we, Michael, as you know, we love to be the convener. So Derek and Mary, I mean, we'd love to continue this conversation. We're kind of running out of time here today, but we'd love to continue this conversation on Zoom, or we'd also, I mean, I wish we could have everybody come to the office, but if you call us or email us and you want to see the new gallery and the Creative Women of Color show here now, we'd love to make an appointment for you to come and see us in mask. Shayla, yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and insert the public health PSA here.
Okay.
Speaks to both of the questions. You know, this is why it is very important. It's critical to our economy, our ability to bounce back, our ability to be able to support our creative and performing artists, that we adhere to the guidance provided by Myshika Roberts, Dr. Myshika Roberts, and the entire public health department that advises that we take certain measures during this time. so that we can come out of this pandemic quicker than we expected. And so I know that we are all ready to get back to some level of normalcy. In order to do that, let's continue to wear our mask. I know that we're tired of it, but I want to get back to going to the art shows. I want to get back to the museum and all of the events that we had planned. And let's not delay any further. So let's continue to stay socially distanced as much as possible and to continue to wear our mask.
Shayla, thank you. That's a great reminder because we obviously all want to do this very safely. We do not want to rush to come back. We want to do it in the right manner. And I know all the arts organizations and everyone that participates in the arts agrees with us on that. So I'm going to end real quickly here, but I want to, I know that Queen Brooks is listening in. She has had many people congratulate her, including Lori Steinmarsh, who has just texted us and said, congratulations, she's so happy for you, Queen. And Queen Brooks has actually left this comment that says, how can I show my gratitude? And how can I volunteer for Deliver Black Dreams? And actually, Queen, that is something we are working on. So we are gonna have volunteer opportunities. I promise you, the funders that are involved in this want volunteer opportunities. So there's going to be much more work beyond what even just the artists are doing. So thank you all very much. We're going to end right now. I'm going to give you the answers to the trivia questions, and we'll go right to that, I think, now. So the first one is, what year was the Greater Columbus Arts Council founded? And apparently a lot of people in Columbus know that because it is 1973. 63% of you got that one right. The second question was, where was the Arts Council's first office? People seem to know that too. I think people were Googling these things while they were doing the questions. Yes, it was the Leveque Tower. Number 3. This one's about the Arts Festival. Oh, this is interesting. So you guys are all losers on this question. The correct answer is it's the 60th year in next year. The 60th year, so only 14% of you got that right. Number 4, 10 days, the 10-day Arts Festival. Trust me, I never want to have to do that, but it was in 1991. Yes. So yeah, I know, I can't imagine. Number 5, this one is about the 3-time Emmy Award-winning series Broad and High. And the correct answer there, the audience got it. It was called Art Zine. That was the original name. And the final question, this should have been easy for everybody. Yes, thank you. It's all of the above. Yes, so make sure you sign up and follow Art Makes Columbus, Columbus Makes Art. It is 12:59. We have done this in exactly 1 hour. Thank you, Council Member Shayla Favor. Thank you, Michael Bongiorno. Thank you to the almost 300 people that have been listening in today. Thank you very much. We're so grateful to all of you. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.